Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, no matter where you are in the globe. Hey, it's Insane Rider. Welcome to the channel, Budget Gamer. All right. I sure hope so. Gaming, nice to see you. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. I've been on the struggle bus for sure. NVIDIA released a new set of drivers. OBS had to, in turn, respond to it. I'm not sure exactly all what's going on, but it basically tanked my system as soon as it came up a couple hours ago. But I think I'm up and operational now. Sure hoping so. And I'll have to do some fine-tuning of my system after this stream. But I want to dive right in and get into the fun. And with that, let me go ahead and set my monitor down. I've just finished checking my monitors. Everything's sounding good. So I'm going to be releasing tomorrow a video, and I know some people will be watching this on the replay. So I want to make sure those of you who are watching on the replay of the live stream, thank you very much for doing so. And what I'd like to do is review what the basically the kind of the overview, the game mechanics of PvP, and from there just be able to kind of demonstrate it a little bit, just to kind of see how it looks. I'm receiving another error that I might be having enough video. Oh my goodness, it's just been a rough night. So, gaming, you still there? I just want to check and make sure. As soon as I set my monitor down, I throw an error, and so now I'm kind of curious of what's going on. So, boy, these NVIDIA drivers are just driving me bonkers tonight. But let's see if I think I'm okay. I guess I'm gonna check my monitor one more time. Let me get my focus back, and then we'll get into this. Been a tough night hardware-wise for me. All right, I'm back on my monitor. Just taking a listen right now. And so far, it looks like it's okay. That's my horizontal. It's coming in all right. Let me just go back and check my vertical as well. And make sure everything is going well there. And I think I'm okay there. All right, so I'm not sure why I'm getting yet another error from YouTube. It must just be a Saturday Night Gremlins or something. But it looks like my monitor showing me everything's legit. So, okay. All right. Well, let's try this again. So I think everything's good. So I want to just go through some of the PvP details. Again, this will be on a video tomorrow, but it's a little bit hard at times to figure out PvP in this game. So let me just kind of start by talking about the basics. So the way I look at PvP in this game, there's two types of PvP. There is PvP where you're the aggressor, where you're on the offensive. And then there's PvP where you're not the aggressor. You're kind of just more on the defensive. And the game has consequences for PvP, whether you win or lose. But the consequences are different depending on if you were the aggressor or if you were the defender. So first of all, if you're the aggressor and you go out and attack someone's outpost, you go out and attack someone's HQ, or perhaps you want to fight over a resource. Maybe somebody's pulling resources for food and you want to go attack them. Well, when you do so and you're the aggressor, if you lose your forces, that is a permanent thing. So if you go attack somebody's outpost and they take all your forces out, they're gone. You just flat out lost them. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Now, on the other hand, if someone attacks your outpost and you've got your forces there, you're actually going to have your forces, your armed forces, whether it's a plane or a vehicle or infantry, they're going to go into your recovery center. So let me just show that real quick. So here's the recovery center. And that recovery center is supported by what they call recovery bays. And in detail, you'll have a certain number of troops that you can bring into this center. So in this case, I have 382,500. So if I have an army larger than that sitting in my base, say 500,000, and I get totally wiped, then I would have 382,000 I could go and work with to try to mend them, heal them. And it's not just people, the infantry. That's for the vehicles and everything. They all kind of get clumped into one piece. So I would lose about 17,500. So one thing you want to make sure is keep an eye on your recovery center and use the bays and make sure you have enough capacity to support whatever army you have. So again, defensively, if someone's attacking our headquarters or someone's attacking my outpost, I'm going to basically, when my troops, my vehicles get taken out, they're going to go into recovery. Now, on the offensive person, the person who's actually attacking me in my outpost, they're whatever they lose is gone. So that's one way to kind of differentiate PvP. Just you need to be kind of careful when you're figuring out PvP. Kind of think, if we're both fighting over a node that's actually both considered offensive, so you would both lose whatever happens. But if you're attacking someone's outpost or headquarters, there's definitely a difference there. So now the next thing I want to kind of mention that goes along with that is you want to make sure that you're kind of smart about your attacking. So I've been doing a lot of attacking in the last few days and kind of playing it out. One of the things you want to have dialed in is a good radar tower. Now, I haven't got my radar tower that far yet. I wish I did. But my radar tower currently is level 14. It looks like the premium spot for a radar tower is level 21. Because at level 21, you basically can get 6 benefits unlocked. And you can also get a full assessment of your target's player power level. And, kind of get the real details of from a power rating level, what's going on there. Now, that said, there are some things you can do to kind of help yourself out. And I've been doing this as I've been kind of cleaning up the different outposts around our base. But when you tap on somebody, you can go here and hit the little eye on there. And I can take a look and see that this particular player has 310,000 power points. And I can even go in, believe it or not, I can go in and look at their records. So if I see a bunch of activity, maybe they don't have a lot of resources when I scan for them, or something like that. But you can get some level of detail by going in and taking a look at the information on that person. So, of course, one of the things you would do is before you attack, you would want to come out and you'd want to do a scout. And you can send out a scout and take a look. Here's, in my case, I'm going to send the scout out. So this tower that I have, it's only 14. It's going to give me some information. But definitely if you're going to be out and about and you're looking for strategic strike to, basically attack somebody to steal their resources, not only do you need to kind of scout to see what they have, but you really want to spend some time making sure you're not going to end up in a situation where, so like here's this particular scout report. They have 500,000, basically, roughly 500,000, little less of the different resources except the technology. So I could start my assault on them and start basically stealing those resources. So combination of making sure you have a good high-level radar tower and at the same time using what's on the map and what information is available to help you make a decision. I had one, I think I attacked a level 10 headquarters. It looked relatively weak, and I literally got slaughtered on that one. It was just a bad situation. I literally lost all my troops. And so, you know, one of the things I'm suggesting is just be mindful of that. So you can, hey, Jilly, thanks for connecting. So you can actually make sure you don't go send your forces again because you're attacking. If you wipe, your forces are gone. Where that person I took out, their forces are just going to go into the recovery center. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of cover that as part of getting this little live stream dialed in for those who are going to pick it up on replay. The next thing I want to cover is if you are attacking somebody, let's say I was going to attack further out. One of the things you can do is you could relocate your base and just teleport right next to them. Teleport next to them and then initiate your attacks after you scouted them, of course. Don't teleport first, then scout. You might pick a bad location or a bad target. And so you don't want to waste your teleports, especially if you don't have too many. And what I was doing over the last few days is I've actually been teleporting into a middle, like say right here, here's a number of targets. So I might teleport right into the middle. And then from here, I would launch my troops to go scout to get the details. And then once I have those details, then I can make a decision. But by doing that teleportation, you're reducing your march time significantly. So if you are going to go out and start attacking other outposts, or let's just say clean up all of the players who are not playing anymore, you definitely want to teleport if possible. Sparrow Jack says, last tip is awesome. I learned the hard way. Currently rebuilding my army. Yeah, I went through the same thing. I literally just saw the level. I didn't even really scout it much. And then I looked at the scout, but then, yeah, I didn't really look. If I would have looked at the details on that information, I would have gone, whoa, okay, something's not right here. This person must be stronger than they are. And I should have left them alone. But instead, I went for the full wipe. And again, that's the disadvantage of being on the offensive as far as PvP. But yeah, definitely pro tip. Drop in, teleport to where you're going to attack, and save yourself the march time. Now, you know, so if defensive, so, and another point on that is raiding. If you're raiding, that's considered offensive. So if you raid and your troops get wiped, well, they're gone. So keep that in mind. But yet, if you run layers are considered defensive. So it's like you're doing something to cleanse the homelands or something. I don't know, but basically the thought process is if you do layers, your troops should drop back to your recovery center. But if you do raids, your troops are gonna, you know, basically be gone. So kind of keep in mind on that. And of course, if you're fighting over a resource or contesting a territory spot or anything of the sort like that, that will be considered offensive on both sides of the equation. So just kind of keep that in mind. And how lucrative cash do you got to basically replace troops that you're gonna lose. So all right. And again, I'm gonna put out a video tomorrow that'll have all of this in detail. But I just wanted to kind of pre-release it in this live stream tonight. All right, I'm just looking through my notes here. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else I wanted to cover here on the first page. So we've talked about non-aggression versus aggressive play styles. We've talked about scouting outposts. The radar is really helpful if you can get it that high. That's at level 6 benefits. And, if a person has a power level about your level or higher, or maybe a little bit below, think twice about what you're doing. And then if you do attack, only send one little army out at a time. Just send a little army, not a big one. Just in case you get wiped fast, you don't want to wipe all your things. I could have saved myself some grief. I had like 4 going at once, and I should have just sent one, and I would have been able to tell right from there. Because I divide everything in 4ths or 5ths, and so I should have sent out 1 a 4th or 1 a 5, and I would have been okay. All right. So let's cover the next set of tips. So, when it comes to being defensive, and we have 2 options. One option is to use a shield, but if you haven't already noticed or looked, they're really expensive. So shields are a kind of a key commodity maybe the best time to use the shields is, say, you cash in some type of resource that gives you multiple millions or something like that, and you don't want someone to come in, see that you're ripe for the pickings, and you have so much resources that somebody could come in and try to steal them. So you might want to use a shield then. But if you don't have that many resources and you want to kind of protect yourself, make sure that before you log off, like I have a tendency hey, gaming, thanks for connecting in. I have a tendency to throw out a bunch of troops. They're all going different directions, doing things for 2-3 hours at a time, and then they come back. Well, when I send all my troops out, that basically means my base is empty. So when it comes to my base defending itself, it's actually kind of underpopulated. Yeah, gaming, I'll definitely take a look at that. I'm excited to see your video. So what I'm suggesting and what I've noticed is I've done much better that, okay, I'm going to be off for the night, or I got to go to work, or what have you. Bring all my troops back, because when my base is attacked, my outpost is attacked, those troops that are there count for the overall defensive effectiveness of it. So if they're all out and about, it's like, oh, okay, I get attacked when I send her out to do something else. I'm much weaker. So just kind of keep that in mind, that keep your troops home, keep your troops at your outpost when you're going to be off for a period of time. All right, so kind of speaking of outposts, let's make sure that you fortify your walls as much as possible. One of the little game tips that'll say, oh, it works against creatures. It's to keep the creatures out. Well, yeah, technically, yeah, it's keeping the creatures out. But it does go against your total defensive calculation for the power strength of your outpost. So make sure you keep your walls fortified and pretty strong. And another thing, and I call this kind of a pro tip, but it's really kind of a basic tip. Make sure that you also level up your guard post, because that's a defensive attack. It's going to bolster your score. But also the pro tip is make sure you go in there. If you haven't looked, there's actually an option to sign a patrol. And a patrol is one of your chasers who will give a typical march benefits. And so you want to make sure that you have a chaser assigned to your basically your guard post. Now, I recommend Hazard, because Hazard's really good for troops and a lot of armor damage from the infantry side, but you can pick whoever you want. But my recommendation is go with Hazard as the chaser and assign him to your guard post. But above all else, just make sure you have someone assigned to it. Definitely don't just leave it empty. So yeah, making sure you level up your guard post, and making sure your walls are up. Now, one thing that Needles says, yeah, that's who I have in there. Nice. Good job, Needles. Yeah, that's who I put in there as well. I debated on a couple, but in the end, I went with him. So one other thing is when you get attacked, not only does it compare your army against the attacker's army and their overall power, because you're at your outpost, you get the benefits, the defensive benefits of your walls and your guard post added onto your overall power score. So you could have two equal armies from a power perspective attacking each other, but the one that's at the outpost would end up faring much better, because you get the benefit of your outpost, or you get the benefit of your guard post and your walls. So when you attack someone else, keep in mind that even if you think, well, I'm about even with them power level wise, you actually are not, because they're going to get the benefits of their defensive fortifications. So that's kind of one thing to kind of keep in mind when you're attacking. And I've learned a few of these lessons the hard way already by testing a bunch of things out over the last few days. Okay, so the next thing I want to mention is armed forces. We have ground troops, we have kind of vehicles, and then we have air support. And they all kind of, not necessarily paper, rock, scissors each other, but they all kind of have a specialty where they get a bonus some type of bonus to them. Either could be, oh, you get damage bonus to, infantry shooting at planes or vehicles shooting at infantry. They all kind of have a bonus. When one of the questions is, well, how should you develop your army? I still think, and I've been asked, when I get asked this question, I've been telling those people is build a balanced army because you kind of need all of the above. But when it comes to actually receiving damage and the game has to decide who got killed or who's KO'd, it always is, if you're in your base, I'll give it 2 examples. If you're on defensive and you're in your base, the damage will go to your defensive fortifications first, your walls and your guard post. After which, for all of us, if we're not somewhere else, it goes to your infantry, your armored troops first. So you might want to have a little more of your armored troops as part of your armed forces that you're sending out on an attack, just because they're going to take the damage first. Likewise, you might want to throw some inexpensive ones out there kind of to absorb a lot of that damage so you're not losing the more precious, say, vehicles or air power that you might need. So just kind of keep in mind that armored infantry takes the damage first when we're out and about. And of course, at your outpost, our base takes it, the defenses first, and then the armored infantry. So just something to kind of keep in mind when you kind of design and develop your defensive. All right, so now, chasers and monsters are key to supporting your armed forces. Of course, we know that with buff and improvements. Make sure that, we want to make sure we utilize them properly. So when you're going out on an operation, you're going to hop in your plane and you're going to go out and you're going to farm a resource. Take a look, or you're going to run a raid, or you're going to hit a lair, or you're going to contest a location. Keep an eye on your bonuses that your chasers give, because they have a wide variety of bonuses. Like, for example, I use a lot of infantry warfare troops, and so Hazard is a great one if he's not already at the outpost, or Kenzo to help with that. If you're going to be gathering resources, May is a really good one there because she has bonuses for the different resource things like load and speed. If you're going to do territory contests, Sierra is actually the best one. Her stats and bonuses actually benefit for any type of territory contest. And Che Young is the best one if you're going to go for any type of attack that you're going to really focus on using basically aircraft or more aircraft. And if you're going to use a lot more, vehicles, Aurora is the one to use for that. So just kind of make sure you tune into your chasers and monsters and how they have benefits when you're out running maneuvers and missions. All right. The next thing I want to mention is, make sure you use your bunkers. I would always keep some troops in your bunkers. Of course, if you have a troop in your bunker or a series of troops, vehicles, what have you, if you get totally wiped, you'll at least have those troops. So you'll at least have some troops to restart with. If you throw out all 100% and get totally wiped, you're literally starting at the very beginning, even just to go farm some resources. So I suggest keeping a good little balance of troops in your bunker so that you can, if you unfortunately do get wiped, you have something to fall back on. And with that, you can, kind of restart. So it's important to keep your bunkers leveled up. And of course, your warehouses too. I'm sure everyone's aware that your warehouses, you have total storage, but then you have protected storage. And the higher your level of warehouses are, the more protected storage you have. So, make sure to kind of continue try to level up those warehouses. Okay. All right. So I think that kind of covers, we've talked about chasers and monsters. We've talked about attacking outposts with warehouses, with bunkers, utilizing those structures for the recovery purposes. We've talked about, let's see, I'm just looking to think of anything else in this section. No, I think we're good there. All right, so let's talk about territory warfare. You know, everything is on a tile. So as you can see right now, I've got, this is our little base. This is the Budget Gamer Alliance area. And if you tap on one of these anywhere, you see a square. That's a tile. And what we're doing right now is we're trying to expand our perimeter. You can kind of see it with the little hex shapes on the perimeter there. And what we want to do in territory warfare is you want to expand basically your territory. So right now, our little alliance, that little square, that bigger little kind of funny looking rectangle, that's our area right now, and that's all we really control. Now, what we need to do is we need to contest, and you can see there's contestments going on right now along here. So here's Needles getting it done over here on this side, and here's Darth Oni getting it done. Here's JB getting it done. So we want to continue, and as we link adjacent squares or tiles, our area will expand. And as it expands, that's how we score points, as one example. So it's important to make sure that when you're starting to get into alliance warfare, that you understand that. And if I want to contest, all I have to do is tap to an adjacent, and you'll see the contest pop right up on the screen. And that's what we're looking to do right there, is just make that contest go out. It's usually like a 3, 4, 5 hour thing. So it's not something that happens quick. You're going to send troops, and while you're there, you're vulnerable. Somebody else could attack you at the same time. You know, we're trying to expand our territory, but somebody else could be coming in, another alliance trying to reduce our territory and take over our territory spaces. Now, with that said, one thing about being in a territory, especially as you grow it larger, if your base, your outpost, I keep calling it a base, but it's really, if your outpost is inside your territory perimeter, you get extra bonuses to your defensive capabilities. So if your outpost is attacked and you're on the outside, you got your normal defensive capabilities. But if you're inside your own territory, you get even more. So it's kind of important to build out that perimeter as quick as possible, and then to kind of populate all inside of it as quick as possible as well, so you can take advantage of those defensive bonuses. Likewise, as we expand our territory, if we have different nodes, let's say a node to mine to get steel metals, or maybe a node for food, or for tech, or wood, or what have you, when it's inside our alliance territory, we can do it faster and get more out of it. So that's another reason you want to kind of expand your territory as quick as possible. Now, that said, there are objectives on the map. So in the season, which is 60 days, so we started the season now, this Alliance Warfare, we get so many points per hour based on the number of tiles we control. And then there's also objectives on the map. Now, last night and yesterday, everywhere we see these kind of amber-orange markers, some of them were white, which meant they were still neutral, and some of them were already taken over. But you can see right now they're all taken over. Now, if we look at one, I'll tap on it and hit go. You'll see that there's the marker right there. There's the objective, and you can see that it's already inside. You can see how big their perimeter is, and notice how they're all clumping on the inside, so they get all those advantages on the defensive side of the equation. And you can see all their ships out here pushing their perimeter further forward. Now, one thing about your territory is other alliance or non-alliance people who aren't part of your own alliance, they can't drop in. So I couldn't just go and hit right here and say teleport. It won't let me. So you can't drop inside their another alliance's territory. I'd have to drop in somewhere out here to then start maybe fighting those ships and trying to push them back. But once you have control over a special, basically it's a special location, you score even more points. And there's different colors, blues, greens, and I think purple. And you score more points every hour that you control it. Now, to control it, you have to have 9. There's 16 boxes around. If I was to count every little square on the outside, there will be 16 of them. You have to have your territory, your perimeter touching or encompassing 9 of them. So it could be like bottom, left, right, and maybe I'm missing one other side. But you have to be able to surround 9 out of the 16 to actually consider it captured, that point of interest. And again, you can see that there's a number of point of interest through the map, and that's what the Alliance Warfare is. Now, this one up at the top was the highest rated one. You can see it's an epic level military compound. And if we come into it here, you can see it's there. And you see this particular alliance, I think, is the biggest, strongest alliance on the Behemoth 1 server that we're on. So you can see their headquarters here is parked right nearby, and they're pushing their way out, and they're all trying to hang out on the inside there. So there are a few other objectives out here. So here is, it's a green, so it's uncommon. And here's one that is another green. I think this is a green here as well. Okay, it's even more of a turquoise. And then over here we have 2 blues. Now, the reason we picked where we're at, and at the time I was just going off of input from someone else who was more familiar with it. They had a good technical. Theoretically, it makes sense of what they were thinking about. But I don't know the practicality, the actually execution part. I don't think it will work very well, at least for our size alliance. We're so small. But the concept is instead of parking your headquarters right near one of these and then you just control, like, say, the epic one, 2 blues, these 2 blues are worth more than one of the purples. So the thought was, and maybe others were doing the same, is to park somewhere in the middle and then to build out both directions, both to the left and to the right of the screen, and ultimately be able to take over both of them. And then you would be scoring more points than the single contested purple or green or something like that. So that was the kind of the concept behind it. But when you start seeing how long it takes to contest an adjacent tile, it would take a long time to expand that far. Now, if we had, the alliances are 100 players maximum. If we had 100 active players, our alliance is only about 20-something, and probably even half of that is active. But if we had that many, then, yeah, maybe we could execute this plan. The question would be, could we get it done soon enough? Reason being is right now, once these points of interest are captured, you're scoring. Everyone's scoring points like on a frequent reoccurring time basis. And so, how quick could we expand to take control of those to offset the fact that we aren't scoring any points where other alliances are already scoring? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know for our alliance size right now, there's no way this particular plan we'd be able to execute effectively. So that's just kind of a little bit on the tiles and how to build out your territory. It all centers around your HQ. So that's the place to start. And then once you work from your HQ, you build out, you start to take advantage of it. All right, so a season 60-day long, so we have about 60 days to capture as much space as we have. And, again, we're probably going to have to at some point start contesting against other alliances that are nearby and start having battles. Now, those contested battles will be aggression, so, we just got to be ready to lose whatever troops we send. And who knows how many or how few we'll lose. I noticed that some of those players have been playing for quite some time, too. Yeah, Needles, you're right. I'm sure that people that were in beta that already had a lot of stuff built up and everything else, they knew exactly what they're going to do as soon as this came out. So yeah, but that's I've noticed the same thing on that, too. All right, so we've talked about territory, and we've talked about tiles. And let's see, we've talked about making sure your outpost is in the center. We talked about extra defensive. We talked We covered the resource, the nodes. We can farm them faster. And also, if you were attacked while in your territory with a resource node, let's say, you know, we take about 4 times the amount of space we have right now, and I'm out farming for wood, and somebody decides to attack me because they want that node instead. Because it's in our territory, we still get our extra defense bonus that we're given for being inside our territory, just like we get that defensive bonus for our outpost as well. So it's kind of a little bit of the quicker you can get that area expanded, the quicker we can a little more efficiently and a little bit with more safety farm the nodes around us. All right, so we talked about you have to get 9 out of 16. And let's see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. I think I covered most everything. Now, my video that'll hopefully come out tomorrow will go cover everything I just mentioned right now. And it'll be in a nice, concise format with an explanation on all these different topics. So with that said, what I'd like to do is I've got a couple, it looks like I got needles on, looks like we got gaming on. We're just going to hang out and do a few things. So one of the things that I've been doing is I've been taking out bases. And let's see here. There was one base over here, but it's already gone. That totally toasted me. And I just didn't spend enough time. But what I want to do is I want to demonstrate the kind of the, right now, the scouting and the attacking of an outpost. We already have, as you can see, some people running. I can show one example of this as well. So I'll go. It looks like we're making a push over here on this side. So there's like, I'll push for this square right here. So I can say contest. I'll pick somebody. Again, I would decide which leaders I want to use. You can have 3 now. Unfortunately, on my iPad, I play it on an iPad. I have a screen resolution issue. The game developers are aware of it. So I can't actually go in and assign 3 people. The formatting won't let me get back out of that particular screen. So I can only run with what's here. And so I'm just going to, just for an example, so I would hit March, I'd spend my 10 fuel. And then basically off goes my troops. Now, my headquarters is at level 20 now. So I actually have the capacity plus the way I've leveled up. And these details are in my video 6 best new tips for new players. But I can actually have 5 marches going at once. So basically what contesting is going to look like is I'm just going to fly over. I was set to split. So I'm splitting my total resources, my total armed forces into 5s. And so 1/5 of my army is going to be there right now, trying to contest that piece of land. And I can take and tap on it, and you can see it's going to take 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 50 seconds to actually capture that piece of land. All right, so we'll just leave that one there. I still got 4 to work with. So let's go ahead and we'll throw a scout out on. Let's just scout the next one that's kind of near us. Let's go with this one. So I'll go ahead and run a scout. So again, I could move. I'm not going to move right now tonight, but I definitely suggest if you're just out. I was out farming resources like a crazy madman, and I was just porting all over the place. I was finding like groups of 3 or 4. I was picking the weak ones, and I was just having a great time scoring all kinds of resources. It made it really easy to boost my resources up. So that's definitely a great way to gather resources. All right, so I get a scouting report, and so I'll go look at the scouting report. It says you scouted. So they don't have a whole lot of resources, 17,000, 16,000. I'd rather find a target that's got like 1 million or 500,000. And their power level is only 98,680. So that's really not that much. I say only, so as a point of reference, that person's almost at 100,000. You can see mine up here up in the top left, right below the red for my basically my stamina is, you can see I'm at 16.6 million. So that person's 100,000 versus 16.6 million. Now, if you're wondering what does it mean, your power? So everything you do in this game, everything you build, everything you capture, every time you fight and win, basically anything that makes you active contributes to your power, the level of your buildings, how many buildings, what type of resources do you have, what type of inventory, how have you trained for crafting, how have you trained for your different skill slots. All of those contribute to ultimately what's called a power rating. And so I'm at 16.6 million. And that person there is at 100,000. So obviously, most likely, if I brought my full army against their full army, I'm probably going to be a one-way victory, a one-sided. And that's why you'll see things like this. It's called sweeping victory. Sweeping victory, if I tie up on it, as an example, you can see crushing defeat. You can see I lost 0 power out of it up above. And you can see I had 0 defeated and 0 wounded. I went out with 5,000 some troops. I came back with 5,000 some troops. That's the type of win you're looking for, because then you're not slowly bleeding off your troops. So that's kind of what I've been looking for. So as far as though this question about 16 million, let's just take a look. Just to give you a perspective, the number 1 player on the server, of course, GHST, which is that alliance we saw up at the very north on the Epic point of interest. Look at that. I mean, I'm at 16 million. This person's at 177 million. Now, of course, they could have been playing for quite some time now. But you can see the second highest person is 73. So this one particular person is way out in front. How do you get so far out in front? Well, there's probably really only 2 answers. Time and money. And so it's probably a combination of the both that makes that score so high. But as you can see, it ranks it. Where am I at? Let's see. I'm currently 34th. I'm the 34th ranked person on the server. It just so happens to be right now, based on what I've done and what I've been donated and what I've been doing. All right. So we've got, now that we've scouted that node out, technically I would probably move to right here, and then I would just have short little jumps back and forth. But this one's really not very lucrative. But I want to go ahead and kind of demonstrate. So I'm going to go ahead and, which one? Let me make sure I'm attacking the right one. It was 514181. Yep, this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and send out 4 sets of squads. But here's what I do. And this is optional. This is where I said if you're not too sure, send out one at a time. But here I'm actually pretty sure. But normally what I do is I'll hit battle, I'll send out a march, and I'll give one of them maybe about a 20 or 30 second head start, just so that if I see, I get an email back and I check it, and it's not a sweeping win, a victory, and I go, oh, I did lose some troops. Then I can recall the rest of them back before they arrive. But if I pepper them off one after other all together from the beginning, I might not be able to recall any in time. All right. So now with that, I can just fire off the next one. And of course, I'm usually right near it. And so you can just go pretty quick. You can also, if you want, though, you can go into your mail and you can pull from here. Once I attack the first one, looks like I can't do it until I get at least one tack in. I can hit the retack option and get that as well. All right, so we're off to the races. I sent basically 1/5 of my group, and that's kind of a test. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I just recycle. I could go into my email and use attack again. All right, so let's just see. So I got my first troop almost arriving now. So I'll just kind of keep a look at it, and what I'm expecting to see is some sort of email that says sweeping victory. All right, so I know I'm good. I don't need to recall anybody else. And you can see my ship heating up. So, of course, we got Needles. We've got gaming. I've seen a few others on, Death Ani. And, right now for our territory warfare, we're really focused on cleansing this local area. So we're going to try to take all of these, ultimately we're going to have to take all of these maybe orphaned outposts and attack them. You'll see that green bar goes down. So now a question is, well, what happens when you lose your outpost? So when your outpost is lost, it basically teleports. It's not like it's gone and whatever money you spent, either real or in-game resources, is gone. You lose your location, which is very strategic. Typically, you're somewhere where it makes sense to be. And you get randomly teleported to somewhere else on the map. But you don't lose everything. So it's not like, oh, wow, I bought the $6.99 bundle pack, that the Q pack that Budget Gamer recommended, and now I just got wiped out, and my $6, my $7 is gone. So you can see me bringing in some resources there. So it doesn't work like that. You'll still have your HQ, and so the nice thing about that is that it means you're going to lose your armies. And I know there's bundles in there to buy armies, and I'd be really nervous about that because that could be disposed of. But you could lose your armies. But other than that, you could go. I could, if I wanted to, for fun. I could go park myself right out here somewhere. I could actually park our HQ. If it lights up and says Teleport Alliance, it doesn't show it there. I could actually park our Alliance HQ right there, and then we could all port over, and we'd have to start knocking all these things out and trying to build up right next to them. I'm sure it would turn into crazy all-out war, and considering there's probably 50 of them sitting around here, well, more than that, maybe, might be the whole crew, we'd probably get wiped really, really fast. So I originally thought, well, maybe we'll do that on Saturday night. That'd be kind of fun. But then it's like, man, why would we want to throw ourselves to the wolves and get wiped completely? What we're better off doing is expanding our own little territory area as a small alliance. And hopefully we continue to recruit more members. And of course, if anyone is watching this and is interested, feel free to join us. Our invites are open. The name of the alliance is Budget Gamer, 2 words. Or you can look me up, Budget Gamer, 2 words, as my in-game name. And what's just kind of a low-key, fun alliance, trying to be helpful. You definitely could participate in the YouTube live streams when we have different events going on, so that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, so here that's where we are right now. Looks like we can kind of just gobble up everyone in their current locations if we can just kind of keep expanding our perimeter. All right, you can see I've only got 1 of 5 if I tap here my field operations. Of course, I got the one that's capturing territory. So let's work on the one. I got hopefully I see all sweeping victories. So if I do come down here and hit attack again, it will take me right to it. So it puts it right in the middle of the screen. And then I can march. And so I can just kind of quickly, but normally, like what I've been suggesting is normally I'm parked right next to it. So it's just easy to tap it really quick and then just kind of cycle through real quick. And when you finally take it out, you'll see the shield, the bubble, like what Godzilla has here. You'll see it pop up real quick, and then you'll see the whole outpost just disappear. So, maybe I did about an 1/8 of damage or something. I don't know exactly what that is, but I did. You can see I did some damage to it. And so that's basically the intention is we will just have to continue to work on scrubbing this area, take control of those nodes within our territory. Of course, the new nodes respond at different points in time, and just work on our overall goal. And I can go over here, go to. It looks like it says here where it must be view leaderboards. All right, so we're rank 13. There's only 15 alliances operational on this. So that's not saying a lot, being 13 out of 15. But that's where we are. So you can see the current leaderboards. It says it refreshes every 10 minutes. And they got a score of 661. And that's basically the territory takeover. So they got a lot of, and this is just for the next day, basically. Who's taken over the most territory? This is not the representation of the actual seasonal battle yet. This is just who's kind of taken over territory, most territory in the last 24 hours. So obviously we haven't taken over a whole lot. We're a small little group. But looks like we've taken over a score of 15. Okay, so I think that about wraps it up for what I had planned for the stream tonight. I just wanted to get in about an hour. Let's see. Needles says the best way to clear those lower bases if we really attack it. Yeah, and if we have multiple people, if we just all attack them at the same time, we'll oh, are you talking the actual HQs, or are you talking the outposts? Yeah, if we rally and attack it. Yep. Yeah, we would definitely, that would be the way to do it. Do we have 3 people on? We could do a quick rally on one of these outposts. Yeah. So I got Needles. Let's see. Do we have gaming still on? I'll see if we have one more. We can do a quick rally. Let me... just going back and forth on this one's going to take a while. Let's just go ahead. I'll rally up and let's see if we get... Yeah, I'll say 5 minutes to prepare. Of course, I can't go in to add more. You want to add troops to your rally. Return to Alliance Hall. All right, so I'm going to have to... let's see here. I'll split. I'll just do a typical amount. Oh, 12,000 units of the rally capacity. Well, how many troops was I? 5,000. Oh, so that rally's a little bit different on this than it is. If I go max, you can see. Let me see that air again. So I have to put 12,000 units. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I could see why it would take it out so fast. 12,000 units, because I'm attacking with a much smaller. I'm only attacking with 5,000 units at a time. I would have to go max, but that would be 22,000. All right, well, I'll rally with 22,000. And let me see if we get anyone else to join in on that rally. See if Needles can connect in. This will be a good way. We'll try to wrap up the stream after this. So I've got the rally call out. We're in the countdown. And, of course, we're going to continue to work our territory. Hopefully, everyone in the Alliance, that's what it's telling me. Yeah, you have to kind of go. It looks like you almost have to do your whole crew. So instead of split, it looks like my splits were only 5,000. So it wasn't enough. I had to get to 12,000. So the only way I could do it was to go with an entire thing there. All right, maybe we don't have enough on right now to make that happen. And then, of course, you can always go find your rally over here. And you can see if anyone else has joined and what's going on. All right, so it doesn't look like Needles will be able to... sounds like Needles won't be able to join. I'll probably cancel the rally here in a moment. And of course, these are acts of aggression. We're doing PvP in an aggressive manner. So any troops we lose, they're gone. Mine are contesting. Yeah, I'll go ahead and cancel. Then that'll clear that. But yeah, that's you know, that's the consequence. If we're out here taking stuff out, someone else could see us taking stuff out and attack us as well. So if they want to mix it up, they definitely could, and that could be our consequence if we don't do very well. All right, so we're almost up to an hour. I'm glad I was able to get this stream in. I think I've covered all the pertinent information, so somebody can watch this on a replay to learn a little bit more about PvP. So for those of you on the replay, I hope you enjoy it. And Needles, thanks for connecting in. It looks like we also had gaming here for a while. I'll see you online afterwards, just in game itself. So I hope everyone has a good rest of your night, your morning, your afternoon, or your evening, no matter where you're on the globe. And as always, let's battle. Take care, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.